Carl, of course, a free weekend for you this weekend with the Braintree game being postponed. Obviously, I think it's been something that everyone's been expecting coming really since about a Tuesday or so, given the sub-zero temperatures. But obviously, it gives you a few extra days, I suppose, to turn preparations to Halifax at home now as well.
Yeah, I think it was the writing was on the wall, wasn't it, with the forecasting earlier in the week. We were expecting the game to be off. So we used today's training session as a good opportunity to open up the spaces, increase the load for the players. And it ended up being a really productive day in the sense that a couple of our new lads were involved. So we were able to work on some things tactically, get them used to how we like to play. But also the boys who are out on loan, who train with us on a day-to-day basis. Good opportunity for them with obviously, the outgoings that we've had. To show in an 11v11 situation, what they're capable of. They all come to me and ask me, if there's opportunities there for them. Well, we've used this morning as an opportunity to get an 11v11 in and really assess those players as well. So, Halifax will be our full focus now, and we've touched on them today as well, but we'll look at them more in depth after the weekend.
Yeah, you mentioned new arrivals, of course. Max Sheaf, one of those coming in after spending a bit of time at Ross County recently, an 18-month deal for him. So obviously the rest of this season and then next season as well. But what's he going to add to what you've already got within the build?
Yeah, Max will probably operate higher up the pitch. Is sort of an attacker midfielder. He had a great spell, I think, at Redditch, really productive numbers in terms of his goals and particularly his assists. So he's a player that'll find pockets of space. He likes to get shots off. He's a good ball striker, and he's an intelligent player with the positions that he occupies. So technically, he fits us, and he's a great lad as well. The culture that we want to create here is he's perfect for that.
You mentioned there in terms of the person aspect as well as the player. Obviously, everyone's going to look at what they bring on the pitch, but how much, I suppose, research do you do, and how important is that side as well in terms of how they're going to be off the pitch, how they're going to be around the building and around the rest of the lads as well?
Yeah, it's huge. We have a culture here, within the club that is obviously to deal with obstacles and hurdles that get thrown in your way. We've obviously had that already in this window. So we need to fill the dressing room with good characters, strong characters who can deal with disappointment or, like I say, any sort of hurdle that gets put in our way. And these lads fit that profile. I have calls with them, obviously, previous to them arriving, Zoom calls, make sure that I get a feel for the person, ask the relevant questions. And they're great lads who will fit in really well, I think.
And someone as well who's already in the building, but a boost on the defensive side with Dan Jones extending his loan from Port Vale until the end of the season. Obviously a bit of positive news for you there. Yeah,
of course. Jonesy again, great lad, really popular within the group, but also brings vital balance. Not many left-footed central defenders around, with that sort of quality. We were really fortunate to have him and Grace to occupy that position. Unfortunately for Grace, he's picked up a hamstring injury that'll keep him out for a significant period of time. And Jonesy's, a great option to come in there and play. I don't think there's any other club at this level that would have that sort of quality in that position. So we're really pleased that he's been extended till the end of the season.
Yeah, you mentioned Joe obviously having a bit of an injury layoff there again, something you alluded to after the Boston game. You mentioned Tyrell as well. What's the sort of current situation on that front?
Yeah, so like I said, Joe is a disappointing one. You can see when he's getting games under his belt and we had a settled side, how effective he is. In my opinion, I think he's one of the most gifted in possession defenders outside the championship. His range of passing is different class. So there's no doubt he'll be a miss, but like I said, Jonesy's a great replacement in there. And then Tyrell, who has also been in unbelievable form, one of the standout players in the period that we've had over December, Player of the Month. I think he got voted, rightly so. He also had a little bit of a hamstring injury that was affecting him before the York game. He was still really effective in the York game, but there was moments where you really wanted him to open up and use the good pace that he has, but he was just unable to push himself, so we had to pull him off at York. And then it was sort of a precautionary one. Had the game have gone ahead tomorrow, probably wouldn't have played, because we want him fit for obviously Halifax and the game after. So that one's not a long-term one, which is great news, because, like I say, Tyrell's been different class.